The presidential handover collapsed into chaos on Wednesday as an angry mob of Trump supporters stormed the United States Capitol. At least 4 people are dead after supporters of President Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., forcing Congress to evacuate as lawmakers counted electoral votes to certify President-elect Joe Biden's victory in the November election. The chaos erupted shortly after Mr. Trump gave a speech once again falsely claiming to have won a second term and vowing "we will never concede." As a mob of Trump supporters entered the building, people working inside were ordered by local safety officials to shelter in their offices. One woman was shot and killed by Capitol Police after breaching the Capitol and attempting to enter the House chamber. 3 others died as a result of medical emergencies, according to the Metropolitan Police Department. After breaching barriers, Trump supporters were seen walking through the building, waving flags and clashing violently with security. One posted pictures purportedly from the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office where her quickly abandoned laptop appeared to be still on, others took selfies inside the Senate chamber. Trump, and his allies, have baselessly floated conspiracy theories that the election was somehow fraudulently won by the Biden, though there is no evidence to support this. At a rally before the riot began, Trump falsely told supporters once more that the election had been rigged, referring to the counting of ballots in the 2020 election as explosions of bullshit. Troops from Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. National Guard were deployed to help quell the violence. Several hours after the initial breach, law enforcement announced the Capitol had been secured. The nation's capital is under curfew tonight as a result of the violence. According to MPD, 52 arrests were made Wednesday, 4 related to weapons charges, and at least 6 firearms were recovered. 2 pipe bombs, one near the Republican National Committee and one near the Democratic National Committee, were also recovered, as was a cooler filled with Molotov cocktails. The Senate and House both reconvened late Wednesday night to resume counting the Electoral College votes. The United States and the United States Congress have faced down much greater threats than the unhinged crowd we saw today, said Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. We've never been deterred before. And will not be deterred today. As the chaos ensued, Mr. Trump told his supporters to go home but repeated the false, inflammatory claim that the election had been stolen. We have to have peace, we have to have law and order, the president said.
Jimmy Carter calls Capitol assault a national tragedy.
Former President Jimmy Carter released a statement saying he and his wife, Rosa Lynn, were troubled by the violence at the U.S. Capitol today. This is a national tragedy and is not who we are as a nation, Mr. Carter said. Having observed elections in troubled democracies worldwide, I know that we the people can unite to walk back from this precipice to peacefully uphold the laws of our nation, and we must. We join our fellow citizens in praying for a peaceful resolution so our nation can heal and complete the transfer of power as we have for more than 2 centuries.
D.C. Mayor extends public emergency for 15 days.
Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser announced Wednesday night that she is extending the city's emergency declaration for another 15 days, citing the violence earlier in the day from Trump supporters who stormed the U.S. Capitol.
White House Deputy Press Secretary resigns.
White House Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Matthews resigned on Wednesday night. In a statement to CBS News, Matthews said, "As someone who worked in the halls of Congress, I was deeply disgruntled by what I saw today. I'll be stepping down from my role, effective immediately. Our nation needs a peaceful transfer of power."
Facebook and Instagram lock Trump's account for 24 hours.
Instagram announced Wednesday it is locking President Trump's account for 24 hours. Facebook, which owns Instagram, also moved to lock the president's account for 24 hours a short time earlier. In a now-removed video posted across multiple social media platforms, Mr. Trump repeated false claims that the election was stolen from him as violent protesters breached the U.S. Capitol.
Obama urges Republican lawmakers to choose reality and accept Electoral College results.
Former President Barack Obama blamed President Trump for the violence at the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday and urged Republican lawmakers to choose reality and counter the president's misinformation by accepting the results of the Electoral College. Thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe All Media New York.